give people their stuff because you own yours. He mad,
You gonna
y'all.
go ahead and go?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, what's happening, Facebook? 7 signs your relationship will last forever. Hey. Hey. Oh.
What y'all trying to do? Hey, what's up, y'all? Come on and join us. You got the music so loud they can't hear me. Hey, share this video, y'all. We about to get this thing popping tonight. Yeah, that's really. That's really.
Hey, hey. What's up, Jasper? Y'all know what I gotta do? Tell us where you all are watching us from. I love Bruno Mars.
Why you like Bruno Mars?
Because he's jamming. And he's himself. He's authentic. Hey, hey.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing.
Hey, hey.
Really?
Hey, I already had a glass of wine already. That's how he dancing. Hey, hey,
What's up, Chi-Town? What's up, Charles in South Carolina? What's up, YouTube fam? What's up, Chicago?
Where are you watching us from?
What's
Where
up,
are you
Manifest,
watching
bro?
us from? We want to know where you watching
I ain't
us
forget
from.
about you, bro. I'm gonna hit you up.
Manifest from. Hey, Chicago, California. All right, Tiffany. Lake Charles. All right, Chandel. Welcome this evening. Mount Rainier, Maryland. Linda, you in the house? You from around the way?
Yeah, from around the way. St.
All right,
Louis.
we just gonna pause. St. Louis. Hold up.
I'm a dangerous man.
Hey. We gotta make sure we can't. You know what? People keep telling us we need to we need to say this music is not licensed by us or whatever, right? They're gonna shut us down in a minute.
Yeah, I think we need to actually put it in the video.
Yeah, we're supposed to say that. Well, hold up.
What y'all trying to do?
What are we talking about tonight, baby? Let's go ahead and get started. What's up, Victoria? Hi, Tina.
All right, y'all. So we can go ahead and get this thing started tonight. So tonight, y'all, what we're talking about is 7 signs that your relationship will last forever. And ever. Yes, 7 signs that your relationship will last forever. So why is this important? It's important because many of you out here are in a relationship. If you're on this live stream right now, it's a good chance that you're in a relationship. And I'm certain that
you may be preparing for the future relationship.
Yeah, you may be preparing. So it's important that you know what to look for in your preparation. It's important that you know what it is you might be possibly experiencing right now. And it may suggest that you got a long-standing relationship, that you got something that's worth investing in.
Right.
When we do the work that we do with couples, or better yet, let me backtrack for 1 second. Let me rewind. So the missus and I, so my name is Ayize Mai, and this right here is my lovely and beautiful wife, Iana Mai.
Yes.
And so we're both licensed therapists, but what I like to say at the beginning of all our live streams is that while we may be therapists, this right here ain't therapy. So don't take it for therapy. This right here is giving you all our educated opinions, some advice and recommendations, but it ain't therapy. So I just want to put that out there right there.
So we want you to this evening, as you're listening, go ahead and share this video with whomever you think might benefit. So that means you tag them in the comments, or just share it to your page. We appreciate that because it really is a community here. So when we are talking about different things, y'all be typing like a mug, dropping comments and saying, what about this? What about that? This is what I do. And so not only are we sharing, but we're also learning from you guys, because y'all be having some dope stuff to drop in the comments. So go ahead and share. And as we move along and go along this evening, you can make sure that you get in on the conversation by dropping the comments, because we're paying attention. We're paying attention. So we are talking about tonight 7 signs. 7 signs that your relationship will go the distance. All successful couples, all successful relationships have some things in common.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we talk about a lot is the fact that, you know what, everybody is different. Thank you, Bruce, and thank you, Rhea, and so many of you for sharing. We just saw that y'all shared the video, so thank you for that. But so many couples have all of these idiosyncrasies, these intricacies, and these distinctions that make them different. Certain things that flow for y'all would never, ever, ever flow for us.
Mm-hmm.
And certain ways that we get down, y'all would look at us and be like, "For real though? That's how y'all do?" Nah, that wouldn't work up in here. I mean, seriously, right? You can think of some things right now.
In what area?
I'm not gonna go there right now. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Yamaya, for sharing, and Betsy for sharing. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But we say that to say this, y'all. Like, everybody's different. Every relationship is different. So I want y'all to just get that, in your straight up consciousness right now.
Yeah.
Stop comparing your relationship to the next person's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Stop comparing what that wife does to what you do.
Oh, ain't it kind of early for that?
Oh, I'm telling you, because a lot of times us women, we're trying to be the wife. What does that mean? I don't know. Whatever it means to you, the wife, right? And even men, trying to be that dude, trying to be that man, that husband, that person who, personifies what it means to be that man, that dude. What I call my husband, Big Baba. Big Baba. And so we're trying to do those things, but at the end of the day, you have to do it based on your own standards, based on your own values, and based on what's important to you and your partner. There are many things that are important to me that my husband cares nothing about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's real talk right there. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that you care about that I can care absolutely zero about.
You're really excited to agree with that. Yes. But that's true. And there's things that you care about that I care nothing about.
How about being on time? Is that one of them?
Hold up. Y'all all know, if anybody who's been watching our live streams for any length of time.
We should record our pre-live stream.
Yeah,
our pre-live stream process. We should record that. We really should record that.
This is an us issue. It's not a me issue.
Okay.
You can go ahead and do that all day. But as I said, I told him before, I said, when I come over there and sit down, you still ain't gonna be ready, and you wasn't. Anyway, don't let us distract you. You know what I mean? He's like, we need to be on. This is ridiculous. I'm like, when I get over there, you're not gonna be ready. If we sit down, you know what I'm saying? I sit down. This man is still clicking on stuff. I'm like, you're not even ready.
I'm clicking on stuff because I'm trying to calm down. That's my self-soothe.
No, you weren't ready.
That's how I self-soothe.
Anyway, so we want to talk to you all tonight about 7 signs that your relationship will go the distance, that you are really going to be in it because you have the correct foundational things that, are in place in your relationship. And if you don't have it, if you recognize some of these things and you're like, oh man, where they do that at? I'm not familiar with that. Then take notes. And so we really do challenge you all to take notes and to really pay attention to the things that resonate with you, as I always say, because there will be certain things that hit you a certain way. And that means that you certainly should be focusing on them when this is over, because the work is not here. The work is in our everyday lives as we move and flow in our relationships, right?
Yep, absolutely. Before we begin, y'all, again, go ahead and share this video. I see we got Canada in the house. What's up, Natalie and Gary? What's up, y'all? I see we got Brooklyn in the house. Go ahead and share the video. We about to go ahead and jump right into this thing right here. So the first thing, y'all, and we kind of alluded to this a moment ago. So in order for you to determine whether or not, or to know that your relationship will stand the test of time, one really key principle, y'all, is that you got to laugh at yourself. Y'all got to laugh together. Y'all got to have fun together. You got to really not take stuff so seriously. So if you find yourself in a relationship with your partner and everything ain't serious all the time, y'all are able to laugh at each other and laugh at yourself. That's one key ingredient that I know the missus and I have. Again, a moment ago, y'all, I was over this joint pissed.
But I don't let you stay there.
You don't, man. I be wanting to stay there all the time. I be wanting to stay there, and she gonna come over here and crack jokes and then try to make me the responsible one. But yeah, you gotta make sure.
I didn't try to make you.
No, you tried to make me the responsible.
To reveal to you that.
No, not at all. So again, y'all, number one is you gotta laugh at yourself. So we all come up short in some form or fashion, whether it be in our relationship, whether it be in our personal lives. So you got to take a step back and really not take yourself so seriously all the time. Laugh at yourself, make jokes at yourself. We crack jokes on each other.
Sign. Keep talking.
What sign you gonna get?
Keep talking.
Yeah, so just really take things a little bit lighter than what you might currently be taking them. Again, it's a number of times in our relationship with my wife, she be having me there, y'all. She really do. She be having me there. And so sometimes I really want to get to a point where I just shut down, and we're in the clinical definitional terms of things, we might stonewall. So we put this wall up. We don't want to engage. We don't want to participate in the conversation because I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. But again, she has this funny way or interesting way of trying to break down that threshold and really engage me in such a way where I have to put my guards down. So yeah, it's not all that serious, but one key thing is that if you can laugh at yourself and not take things so seriously, then again, that's one key sign that your relationship will last forever.
Because sometimes we get stuck. And I actually, so look, we have this in our office. Y'all see this sign? And actually, Jessica gave us this, the culture queen. She gave us this. It says I don't know if it's looked backwards on y'all screen, but it looked backwards on our screen. Anyway, it says, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling, right? So I love this because it reminds me that I need to have some hustle. Like sometimes I'm like, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I deserve to sit down.
Sometimes you be like, I don't want to. Like you told me earlier today, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I ain't ready for that lesson right now. I don't want that message.
She's trying to call me out.
I'm just saying.
Softly.
I'm just saying.
Subtly. That's fine. I see you. Right, but look, so that's the hustler, right? But look, here's the other one we got in our office. Life is too short. It's too short to be serious all the time. Too short. So we got this because we have to really be intentional in our lives about reminding ourselves that, like, for real, is it that serious? Is it that serious? It's really not. And so sometimes I can be petty. I'm a self-professed petty person, but I have to really challenge myself to move through the places where I can tend to get stuck. And so we challenge you all in that way. And you have to make sure that if there ain't no laughter, and somebody trying to make you laugh, or they trying to like be over the situation and move on, and it's you can really let it go, and you're just not gonna do it, then I'm just gonna tell you, you got work to do. Laughter really does heal. It really does.
And if you can't laugh at yourself, laugh at other people. My wife, she has a phenomenal way of imitating certain people, whether it be them dancing or doing whatever, and again, it just brings such joy to my heart when you enter into that space.
Yes, that's my other life. I'm gonna stand up comic somewhere. That's my other life. But look, y'all. So here's number 2. So that was number 1. Number 2. Thank you for the love. Number 2 is find little ways to express your love every day. So this is important. Again, number 2 is find little ways to express your love every day. That sounds like a Hallmark card. Like, oh, that's so cute. But it's literal. It's not philosophical. It's literal. Every single day, find ways to express your love. Because look, this is what happens, y'all. What we do is we do not understand that it is the small moments that build the relationship. It's the small positive moments that build the connection, that build the trust, that build the love, that build the interdependence, the way that you all come together. And when you don't do that, and you don't find opportunities to really connect in with your boo, then you are not building the relationship. And it's easy. I mean, our last live stream was about how do you resist this natural tendency to kind of be isolated in marriage. Each of you have your own individual goals. Each of you are doing your own thing. The way you do that is you find the small moments when she's standing in front of the mirror and she's, doing her hair or putting her makeup on or whatever. You come behind her. Oh, I love when you come behind me.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see how I can switch it up. Oh, I can't. And kiss me on my neck. I was going to try to do the Erykah Badu, but I can't do it. So I love when he kisses me on my neck. I'm doing something. I'm trying to get out the house, and he just comes up behind me, right? It's the small moments. And when I'm out, wherever I'm going, I get to the place where I was getting ready to go, I'm thinking about the fact that my husband came up behind me and kissed me on my neck while I was putting my makeup on. You know what I'm saying? It's the small moments. It's the things that we do to recognize each other and to make sure that the other person knows, I see you. I see you. And I'm waiting. Even in the midst of all of the busyness of my day to get back to you.
That's significant right there. I mean, fellas, let me ask you this question.
What builds the relationship?
Let me ask you this question.
I cut you off. My bad.
Do you make your wife feel you even when you ain't there? Do you make your wife feel you even when you aren't there? Again, what my wife just mentioned a moment ago in terms of me coming up behind her, when I'm not in her presence, she's reflecting, she's thinking about, she's meditating and marinating on the fact that hours before, a day before, maybe even a couple of weeks before, I did something specific that turned her on emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so, fellas, I'm asking you that question. Are you doing things? Are you making positive deposits in the emotional bank account so that when you ain't there, she still feel you? How deep is your presence?
Oh my.
Just a question.
Making emotional deposits. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes. So you have to make sure you're not just withdrawing. You're not just taking. You understand? You have to make sure you're depositing. And there's so many ways that you can do that with your partner. And I just want to be real for a second. Sometimes we don't really know what to do. You know, because when we're working with couples, people are like, I don't really know what works for her. You know, like he don't really give me no energy. He don't ever say nothing. I don't know what's going on with him. At the end of the day, I know I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep on saying it. God damn it, ask. Just ask. Like, for real. And your partner may be like, I don't know. I mean, you need to be creative, right? They may try to push it off on you. And you can be like, I'll continue to try to do that. But just take note, I asked. Yeah. And I want you to let me know. Let me know what I can do. Let me know what I can do. So you have to do that. You have to do that. Thank you. Oh, look at it. Look at it. Rest said, your love is contagious. Y'all are so intense. So we appreciate that. So number 3, we're on to number 3. Who's supposed to do number 3?
Me. All right. So number 3, y'all, you're on the same page where it matters most. Again, you're on the same page where it matters most. Yes. And so, one particular area that I think about, especially in our relationship, is when it comes to our spiritual beliefs. If there's any type of incongruence, and I'm not even talking about your practice. So your spiritual practice may be one thing, but your beliefs and your value system as it pertains to spirituality is something different.
What's the difference, baby?
And so, in particular, one person might like to meditate, the other person might like to pray. Some people might see prayer and meditation as the same thing. It's possible, and a lot of people do. A lot of people experience it the same way. Somebody might like to do yoga. Somebody might like to take a walk. Somebody might to just sit back and think and go to church or just spend time to themselves. So that might be their practice in terms of connecting in with the Creator. But the thing that I want to emphasize is that when it comes to your shared values or being on the same page where it matters most, what do you all think about the Creator? What do you all think about God? Do you all have a similar belief system when it comes to that? When it comes to even raising children, do you all have a similar belief system? Are you all on the same page? Not to say that you'll execute the same way, but in terms of just generally, are you all on the same page when it comes to educating and raising your children?
And one of the things that's really hard for people is that we often critique each other's methods, and the way that we are getting to where we want to go. And usually, let me just say this. What's up, Sheila? Hi, from the Art of Overcoming. Sheila, thank you for coming on, because you just prompted me to do a shameless plug. If you are a competent, confident woman, this is like one of them commercials. If you are a competent, was that Sharon? I see you, a competent, confident woman, but you got issues like me. Join us in the Art of Overcoming with Iana Ma'ad here on Facebook. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll drop that link when this is over. I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? I really just got carried away.
Yeah, you were talking about just in terms of where it matters most.
You don't know.
And now, I mean, the whole piece about method.
Yes, method. Right. So my husband and I, a lot of times, I'll give you an example. We get caught. We used to. I think now we are a little bit better.
It depends on what it is.
So for example, when our children were young and we talked about where they were going to go to school, what was important to me, I experienced public school and I experienced private school, right? My husband experienced public school. And so I was like, I wanted my child to be a Montessori and Tiffany. Yes, Art of Overcoming. And so I wanted, them to have this private school experience. And honestly, like, I just, I wanted them to have an elevated level of access and education, right? Whatever that means, And so my husband was like, we did that for a minute when we had one child, and we got on the 2, then 3, 4, and now we at 5, right? And well before 5, my husband was like, so this is not maintainable.
Nah.
We can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
this is not financially freeing.
This is not financially
this is shackles right here.
Feasible, right? And I was like, no, we have to do whatever we can because I want them to be in this school. I want them to be in Montessori, whatever. And so, long story short, we really got caught up and we were butting heads like majorly. Because I had my method, he had his method. We both wanted them to be well educated, well exposed, have opportunities and access and activities and all kind of, any parents here, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? all kinds of stuff that will help them to become the best human beings that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And what we had to really come down to, well, first of all, let me just say we had to look at the budget. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's bottom line.
The bottom line, anybody know about a budget? If you know about a budget, go ahead and just like, I know about a budget, a budget, right? Even if you ain't got one, you know there's a certain amount of dollars and cents in your bank account that's gonna go a certain amount of ways, right? And it ain't gonna do what it ain't gonna do, right? So we had to pay attention to
that.
Make
$1 out of 15
You know,
cents.
it wasn't gonna stretch. They was like, this is what the tuition is. You coming up short. And we got to that place. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Y'all, I remember when our oldest son, you know, like, what's that last few months of school? We was behind with that tuition.
Yeah.
I'll be taking him up to school, dropping him all fast as a mug. Do you hear me? I'll be getting
out
the car, like, how you doing? Thank you. All right, goodbye. You got your lunch, goodbye. I was gone, like, don't nobody stop me, please. Because we was late on that tuition 2-3 months, you know what I'm saying? Trying to hold it together. But fundamentally, you know, we continue to talk about it because we had some choices about how we could change some things, shift some things. And the point I'm trying to make to you all is that what we did is we focused in on, my husband said to me one day, look, I want the same things for our children that you want. I want them to have the same level of exposure activities and so forth and interventions and all that kind of stuff, right? But look, at the end of the day, you know, he's like, he just dropped it. He was like, I went to public school all my life.
Yeah.
And my SAT score was better than yours.
Yeah, I hit it with that, y'all. I was kind of petty with that one.
You were.
I was.
And I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't a great test taker, but you had some of that private school stuff, but your SAT score was not all of that. You know what I'm saying? And it was lower than mine. But fundamentally, what he did when he told me that is straight up. It's not just about, obviously, the schooling and, you know, the place that you put your children is absolutely, you know, integral to what they get, right? But fundamentally, there are also a lot of other things involved. It's about your involvement as parents. It's about, you know, all the different things that, you know, that come into play when it comes to education. And our values were the same. He wanted the same thing I wanted. He was committed to making sure, like, I'm going to go in there and talk to them teachers. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go in there and we're going to involve ourselves. We're going to do the best that we can. So fundamentally, make sure that your values are the same and don't get caught up on the fact that, I'm not feeling the way you flowing with it. I'm not feeling the way you flowing with it. Focus on what is it that we want in common. So think about that when you find yourselves butting heads, because when you can do that, your relationship will run the test of time because you will not be distracted by circumstances. You will always focus on where you all are on one accord. You will always do that. Yeah. All right. So that's
this one on you. Hey, what's up, Joanna? Just wanted to give you a shout out real quick.
All right, so this one is on me?
This one on you.
Damn, I was just talking a lot.
Yeah. But you always have a tendency to do that, though. You be bumping your gum. So really, I can say one line on a point and just pass the mic to her.
No, shut up. I'm sorry. So what was that? That was number 3.
Yeah.
So number 4, give each other the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, but hold fast. Before we hit number 4, go ahead and share this video. If you have not already shared, go ahead and share it. We got 3 more points to go. Go ahead and share this to your timeline. You got some good stuff here.
Right, because if you want to know about what's going to make your relationship go the distance, then you need to stay to the end of this and you need to share with other people who can also benefit from that information. So you give each other the benefit of the doubt. This is number 4. You should be taking notes and remembering that something is going to rise to the top for you. Whatever rises to the top, pay attention to that. You have to give each other the benefit of the doubt. I cannot tell you how many people sit before us and they like, you know, they just, for real, we just get into hateration. Hateration, like just hating on our partner. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, we don't even want to hear what they have to say. And usually it's because of emotional dysregulation. I'm gonna use that term for you, but what that basically means is that, you know, you just all over the place. You in your feelings deeply. And when we're in our feelings deeply, we have to learn as partners and as a wife and as a husband, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever.
Hey, thank you, Keisha.
What's up? I see you, Carlton. Wherever you find yourself getting really intensely like emotional, you gotta take a time out. Can I just give you that on the side, Bruce? What's up, Bruce? Can I give you that on the side? I mean, just take a time out because it takes us away from the ability to give our partner the benefit of the doubt, from the ability to see their perspective, even if we don't fully understand it. And when people are able to come into relationship with one another and into individual situations that y'all are dealing with just a straight up like, you know, I'm already assuming that you have my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
I'm already assuming that you have the interest of our family, right? You know, at the forefront. When you have that type of energy and you have that type of mission in your heart, and you know that, and you're giving that energy to your partner, then guess what? Your partner comes at you differently. You know, they come at you with a little more intention. They're a little more purposeful. So we have to do that. And you know, this whole piece about, I know you want to, sorry, real quick. This whole piece about emotional dysregulation. I was in a session earlier this week, and I have a client who really has a hard time. She has a hard time kind of getting on top of her feelings and her emotions.
Should I be pumping your brakes right now?
Why? I didn't say a client. I said a client. Okay. Well, we be holding each other accountable. Like, wait a minute, code of ethics.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
You know we got some therapists up on here right now.
Where's Anika at? Anika, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, don't say nothing, right? I'm like, I just said a client. Damn. So look. So what I was talking to her about is this. You know, she holds things in. She holds things in. Hey, Don Shanice, thank you. I'm glad you love the teaching. She holds things in, right? And so what I tried to get her to see, I read this some time ago, is that when you hold things in with your partner and you don't let things out, that's right, Maisha, confidentiality. When you do not let things out just appropriately, right? A little bit, and let them know your frustration or kind of how you're feeling or what they said that kind of, you know, rubbed you the wrong way, and you just hold everything in, then imagine a pot on a stove. There's water in the pot. And when you turn that up all the way on high, right, what does the water do, y'all? What does it do?
Boil.
It boils, right? And that thing is going, and that's your feelings. If we can just liken that to our emotions and our feelings, that thing is going. And I know I can identify with that thing. You
identify with the boil?
Oh, hell yeah, yo, because I'm special, you know, so I get boiling every week, probably just about at least once a week.
You was boiling earlier, and the kids will make you boil.
Yeah, them bammers will boil. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I got one effing fork in my house. Let me just tell y'all that real quick. One fork. One. I was setting the daggone table for dinner and putting everything. I said, where is the silverware? I looked in the dishwasher. I looked in the drawer. I looked everywhere. One fork. These kids done taken all the set. Anybody know about this? Because I'm like, what is up with my kids? What's up with my kids? And I had to sit up there and have a whole conversation with them at dinner time about why it is not acceptable that if we have people over here, we can't offer them a fork. We got spoons and we got knives.
I ate my salad with a spoon. I ate my salad. I did.
And he was sitting there crying like, I was like, this is unacceptable. I got the only fork right here, and don't nobody touch it. This is my fork until I go get some more silverware from Target or wherever I'm gonna go. Oh, that thing pissed me off. Man. So I don't even know where we was. Where was I? What were we talking about?
You got me sweating up here.
Okay, the boiling, right? The boiling water. So if your emotions are likened to the boiling water, guys, right? And you're really, because I was boiling earlier, right? And you let that thing off little by little with your partner, and you let them know where you are, Erica Blackett. Hey, Cheryl, look, your son eats all your silverware, Cheryl.
I'm
saying, your son eating the silverware. So
Shahida said that they throwing it away. I agree. I think that's what's happening too. It's just like vanishing. It's like Houdini up in this.
I went through all their bedrooms. I was walking around looking through stuff like, where is it?
It's easier to throw it away than to wash it.
That's some that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. So, I mean, we got to go back and get some silverware.
I know.
And this is the second time this happened.
We need to make them pay for it.
All the silverware disappeared in the house. So, okay, y'all, I'm sorry. For everybody who's been waiting for the daggone boiling pot, okay, we're going to move through the boiling pot situation. So, especially you hotheads, anybody hothead, okay? So, you have your emotions. It's not just hotheads, it's also people who just hold in your feelings. You hold in your emotions. You do not let them out. You do not let your partner know where they are, where you are, right? And when you don't do that, then if you imagine a pot on the stove, the water is boiling, the top is on the pot. What starts to happen when that water is turned up? What starts to happen, y'all? That pot top starts to shaking. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's moving all over the place, right? Stuff starts to boiling over, and then, you know, it may just bust off, right? It just totally, you know, erupts. And so what you want to happen, keep it appropriate. And so what you want to happen is that you want to just, if you just take the top.
I'm sorry. You just triggered.
If you take the top and you move it a little bit to the side, right? Move it a little bit to the side. That's why, Annalicia, it overflows eventually. Then the steam and everything can come out, right? And so when that happens, you know, everything is stable. right? Everything is stable and everything is okay because you've let it out. Now, meanwhile, in your relationship, when you let that out, that might make somebody feel some type of way a little bit because you told them something that was, maybe unpleasant. They didn't want to hear it. When I say unpleasant, I mean something that is appropriate, but they weren't really feeling the fact that you gave them some feedback that they might not really wanted to hear. But at the end of the day, that's better.
Yeah.
That's better than letting that thing just bust all over the place. You understand? So anyway, what my point is this.
Let it bust.
No.
I'm sorry.
What my point is this. This is point number 4. You give each other the benefit of the doubt. And so you're not able to give each other the benefit of the doubt when you are holding on to anger. That is where we find people struggling the most. When you are holding on to anger, holding on to issues, you are so upset about things. You have not voiced your issues or your concerns. You have not addressed things. Things have not been paid attention to. Well, you ain't trying to get nobody benefit of the doubt because you're just mad. And sometimes we're not aware of that. And sometimes it's not even our partner. It's not even them. Thank you for the love over there on the Bland page. It's not even our partner, right? It's the fact that we don't know how to open our mouths. And then we get mad at them because they have frustrated us to no end. But we've got to be willing to speak up. So I just wanted to give that analogy because I want you all to understand how you create your own issue and how you contribute to the circumstance of dis-ease and dysfunction in a relationship when you do not lift up your voice, do it in a modulated way, and you get to a place you done gone all off. You done rolled out the house. Wait a minute, I gotta pause. Hold up. Michelangelo Burwell is in the house. Hi, Michael. This is our friend. This is my middle school friend. We've known him forever. And so I just had to shout you out.
What's up, Mike?
All right, so that's number 4. Number 5.
If you're just tuning in, y'all, we've been through, of course, 4 already. Go ahead and share this video right here. We're going to keep it rolling, but go ahead and share because I'm pretty sure some other people could benefit from the information that we're giving.
We are talking about 7 signs that your relationship will go the distance, that it will last, that you actually have something that's worth something. All right.
So number 5, y'all, is a bit controversial. And I'm going to go ahead and keep this thing real, y'all. I think that, of course, you ain't got to have.
Thank you, Anika.
You ain't got to have all 7 because on number 5 right here, this one, the reason why I say it's controversial because I probably am guilty of actually doing this.
Oh, really?
Number 5, y'all, is that you don't keep score in your relationship. You don't keep score.
You keep score?
Now, let me just be clear. So when I say that I might be guilty of this one in terms of not showing up in the most appropriate way, or at least honoring this one right here as it pertains to a key that will help your relationship last a lifetime, I keep score on certain things, y'all. When it comes to sex, I'm keeping score.
Oh, hell yeah.
When it comes to initiation, I'm keeping score. Yeah. When it comes to cleaning up behind yourself, I'm keeping score. And so the reason why I say that one of these other ones actually overrides it is because I can laugh about it in the end. But in the moment, y'all, I'm keeping score like I'm petty.
I need you to start laughing in the moment.
No, I'm petty about this thing. Because especially when it comes to the whole sex piece, y'all, we had a nice long conversation.
Yes, we did.
We did, didn't we, baby?
I'm in process.
You in process?
I'm working on it.
You working on it?
I was like, you know how you have a conversation and you realize like halfway through, like, oh damn, this is serious. I thought we were just rapping, but I think he probably planned this joint. Like he probably thought about this for a minute. Like I realized that in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean that's real talk. So ladies, if you've not heard me say this before, we as men
hate initiating.
We expect you to initiate. We expect you to. We need that. And let me go ahead and drop another jewel for y'all too.
But then we need to tell them what we said we were going to do.
Yeah. So a part of the reason why men watch porn, and I'm whispering because I don't know if my kids are listening.
Do they hear you?
I think. Can y'all hear me?
Why men watch porn?
Yeah, and even why men cheat, why men fantasize about other women. One of the reasons why is because the other women, it's not so much necessarily what they do.
Be careful.
But it's how they show up when they're doing it. So it's really about their availability. Fellas, if y'all have the courage, can y'all please vouch for me here and really acknowledge the fact that it's not so much about the technique, it's not about the moves, but it's their availability. When they're giving it to you, they're like,
what's that mean?
Take me. They're like, take me. And they do it with such a passion, such a fervor. It's not an obligation. It's not a responsibility. It's more so they're honored to give themselves to you. So when it comes to the whole sex piece,
Devontae said facts.
yes, absolutely. When it comes to the whole sex piece, when you initiate,
hey Terry,
when you initiate, what that suggests to us, and don't do no half-ass initiation. No, we don't want that.
Hold on.
We don't want that.
Let me say this real quick.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas. Fellas, rise up and represent.
That's that true story.
Yes.
Come on, Keith.
Yes.
Come on.
This is the truth, y'all. We don't want
Hold
no.
up. I know, Annalisa. I feel you.
We don't want no lazy head. We don't. We don't. Fellas don't want that. We want the full commitment. So when it comes to the initiation piece, y'all, and again, I keep score. I keep score because I want you to show up because I'm showing up. I'm batting 1,000. I make sure I'm batting 1,000 every time. Every time.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
You
so
are.
we want the same thing. And so I keep score.
Am I sucking right now?
No, you're not. But
you just want me to initiate.
Yeah.
How you gonna tell me we had to talk the other night? What he gonna say? What he gonna say to me?
See, like, real talk. That's right, manifest. Okay. Yeah, you right. Real talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me just
so true. Oh, my so true. I agree with the brother. So we got the sisters agreeing. Ladies, I want y'all to go ahead and represent too. If y'all agree, go ahead and represent.
If any sisters say anything, I'm coming for y'all.
Call it rocking the mic.
Don't play with the mic, rocket. So look, let me just say this. I mean, I know I agree with everything you're saying. Mm-hmm. I just don't like it, but I do agree with it. And but you know, and so here it is. This is the method, right? This is back to what was the point?
No, the point was right here.
No, but I'm trying to go back to a point from before. You're on the same page where it matters most. Sometimes we get caught up into method. So my husband gonna tell me.
See what John said? I see you, John.
John gonna say, I want to agree, but something is wrong with my computer. Be careful. But look, he told me, and he said, look, I actually thought that I was doing something when I came over to his side of the bed. And I laid on his chest, right? Cut it up. I start playing, I start rubbing his chest. And I might go down a little bit and play a little bit. And I would be confused. Because this man would just still lay there like this. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, is this not a cue? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this not like I'm rubbing you up here, I'm laying on you, and I'm coming down here a little, to the private area and doing a little something, right? And so he told me,
I'm gonna hit you with Zig Ziglar. Don't be a wandering generality. Be a meaningful specific. I need you to be a meaningful specific.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
So I did not know though. So here it is. I was in my feelings when he talked to me, and he told me the other night we had this conversation. He said, look, I'm not really feeling that. I need you to be direct. Don't come over to me and just be rubbing on my chest and like do a little something. Like I'm not. And I was in my feelings. I'm like, I know this man know that I'm trying to initiate, like he said, but he's still gonna lay there like he want me to do something else.
Yeah.
I'm already working hard. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't working hard.
You cannot judge whether it's hard for me or not.
Really?
It is, and I just need some sisters to go ahead and vouch. Look, let me tell you something. I know, because this is what y'all are programmed to do. And so for us, a lot of times, I just want to speak to that. It is difficult. Brandon. It is difficult to kind of come outside of yourself, come over to your partner, right? And come outside of your comfort zone. Hello? Are you? Hello?
I'm getting love from the fellas over here. And the sisters are like, it's a couple of couples out here that are watching this thing together. Fellas are like, he's speaking truth.
Okay,
that's real talk right there.
It is true. It is true. Mm-hmm. I just want to say that it's still difficult sometimes. I mean, 15 years of marriage, 22 years of being together, and it's still not something that I enjoy. Well, I enjoy sex. Don't get it twisted. Mm-hmm. I do not necessarily enjoy having to initiate, and I think some of that is just based off of.
So I'm gonna ask you the question
cut me off?
that Natalie asked. Why don't y'all enjoy it? Why don't y'all enjoy initiating? You get to get your needs met. You enjoy it when you're in the process, when you're in the act. Why don't you enjoy initiating? Is it because you fear rejection? Is it because you fear rejection? I mean, what is the reason? Why? Why don't you enjoy the initiation process?
My mic is broke. I'm bringing my mic up to my mouth so y'all can hear me clearly. Okay, what's up, Chandel? It's not really about, for me, hey Soyini, it's not about being like fearful of rejection. For me, it's just straight up like, I'm just you just be doing that. Like, I'm just gonna be real. Like, it's been 22 years of having sex. Oops. No. I say, well, how long we've been married? 15 years of having sex.
You better stop playing.
so anyway, that was a joke. So my point is, though, I think a lot of times culturally, whatever, like, that's just kind of how we are programmed. I'm just not used to doing it. And actually, the bottom line is, I've done it lots of times, but I just, I like it.
So what's the solution?
You come on over. So the solution.
What was the solution that we came up with?
So the solution we came up with, you guys, it took us a long ass time to get there, but the solution that we came up with is this. We said, at least, and this is what we tell our couples, at least to start, we're going to start alternating who's going to initiate. And so not just initiating. For me, the issue is initiating. For my husband, it's that his woo is broke. Well, let me put it up to my mouth. Yeah. But you've been doing better the last few days. Okay, so when I say his woo is broke, I mean, I don't want you to like approach me.
You should put me on blast with the woo.
Put me on blast? What you supposed to sit here in a safety zone? Nah, bro. So look, so what I'm saying is his woo is broke, meaning that he can get into a place of being in a comfort zone, and approaching sex is like, so I'm saying, you gonna give me some head? Like, for real. That comes out of his mouth. You know what I mean? Like, what's up? What you trying to do tonight? You trying, come over here. And just like start coming to me like, that's what it is. I don't know what I do with the mic. So,
you always try and mess up the mic, Joe.
I don't want to make a lot of noise for the folks. So I don't know what I said. Okay, so a lot of times, I'm like, boo, like I need somebody to walk up behind me and kiss me on my neck and breathe on my neck. Oh yeah. So that's his thing. He has to focus on, okay, y'all be taking forever. We're alternating. So he initiated this week. The next time, no. Yeah, you did. But I have to, and he gave me the woo, right? So he gave me the woo, and he kind of like, came into the space and was like really trying to be gentle and kind of take me through a process. Romance, Rhea. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's
so ladies, be specific when you define what the woo is.
Though. Yeah, for you, because
so we had
it's
to
different
get
for everybody, right? And so for me, I told him what that would look like for me, what that would be like for me. And so he did that for me. And then I now have the responsibility of initiating the next time, week after week after week. So if you have 4 weeks in a month, right, he is going to do more around giving the woo-woo, the woo-woo-woo, cherish, right? And I'm going to do more in terms of initiating. And so we tell couples that we work with all the time that people be like, I don't want to have to schedule it. I don't want to do that because that's like, that's not spontaneous and that feels, forced. That's the word we get all the time. It's not organic. And what I'm telling you is that it's a lot of shit in your life that ain't organic. You know what I'm saying? You pay your bills. That joint may not be organic. You like, let me sit down and pay this damn bill, but you do it because it is required in order for you to keep your lights on. And so in order to keep the lights on in your relationship, I think I'm breaking this thing down. You have to do some things that you may not want to do. Yeah. And it may feel forced in the moment. I know it does for me.
What's up, Terry?
But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. I'm satisfied. I feel good. And so do you.
I do.
Right. And our relationship is elevated. So I just suggest that for both of you, both of you, meaning you, whoever you're in a relationship with. I suggest that for you all, that you try that, alternate, and put some structures in place. Sometimes you got to put structures in place in our relationship so that we can get to the next level and not just kind of keep talking in, like my husband said, what did you say?
Wandering generalities. Yeah, you need some meaningful specifics. And the words is exactly.
Yes. All right, so that was number 5. Here we are 6. On number 6.
It's not too late to share. Go ahead and share, y'all.
Please share it.
This on you.
Oh, it's on me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shit, I'm trying to drink my wine. Okay. Can you do this one?
No.
Why?
I don't want to.
Can you just do this one, please?
No.
Okay. Number 6, everybody. Okay. You tackle problems together instead of avoiding them. So many of us do not work on our problems in our relationship together. We are doing it individually.
Yeah.
The wife is online Googling because she feels like, we don't really, connect anymore. I don't feel like he hears me. He's not really paying attention to me. He doesn't, look out for me, right? And so she's Googling online trying to figure out strategies in terms of, how I can get him to be more clued in, right? And the husband, what y'all be doing? What are you doing? He doing his thing individually.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't Googling.
No, we might. I mean, we might be.
No,
I mean, I want to say
Googling.
something else about this particular point, though, because I mean, it gets deeper into really defense mechanisms and self-protective,
So you should just get it.
self-protective approaches that you might take in terms of resolving issues. And so what I often say is that, you go to your go-to when it comes to resolving issues. You go to your go-to when you're experiencing or when you're confronted with a challenging situation. So if you find yourself in a space where you're confronted with challenges, either you're going to confront it head on or you're going to run away from it.
Yeah.
And so depending upon the person that you are, depending upon what your upbringing is, you're going to approach it based off of what your condition and how you're conditioned to do it. So I'm lifting this up because when it comes to you being in a relationship, you may possibly have a tendency to avoid issues because whatever those issues are, they may trigger something internally for you that takes you back to what you may have experienced when you were a child. So you avoid them altogether. You avoid them because it takes you back to what you may have experienced, and it's too challenging, too much of an issue for you to look that thing head on because it brings up all of these unresolved feelings. And so when it comes to you working with your partner, as it pertains to these issues, it's extremely important that you be upfront, be honest with your partner about how you feel when you're dealing with challenging stuff. When it comes to you dealing with the bills, let's say y'all can't come eye to eye, can't agree on certain things. It's important that you be upfront and honest with your partner about what your challenges are, maybe around money management, maybe around looking at the bills. When it comes to dealing with the children, it's important that you be upfront and honest about what some of your issues are around that type of stuff. Because again, it did not start in the relationship.
Right.
It didn't start in the relationship. It started prior to the relationship, and you just brought your mess all up in the relationship. So again, I would encourage you to get in touch with yourself and what you got going on internally, because when you do that, then you can have an honest conversation with your partner, and then you all can work towards resolution together. So again, the way to tackle the problems is to first and foremost look at self, and then in looking at self, be upfront and honest, be transparent with your partner about what your limitations are.
Yes.
And then you can approach those issues together.
Yes. That's good. That's good. So we got to be willing to do that. And so here is number 7. Number 7. Man, this one right here, like, I don't know why I love this one so much. I don't know why, certain things resonate with me. And anything,
what's up, Lola?
Anything that straight up challenges us to take responsibility for our situations and ourselves, right? That thing right there always gives me like, oh, what responsibility? Because I am a take responsibility, own your shiznit person. And so at the end of the day, the number 7 piece, this sign that your relationship will go the distance, it will last, it's just straight up, you take responsibility for your mistakes.
Yeah.
Take responsibility. Why is it that we want our children to take responsibility? We want our boss to take responsibility. We want HR to take responsibility. We want so many people, right? But we won't take responsibility. We won't do it. And we will kind of, wander around it and, kind of, we try to come back and like just be nice to the person, be nice to our boo, like, hey, how you doing? But that's not enough. Don't come back and just be like nice. Say what you did wrong, right? Go ahead and own it. If you find yourself in a relationship where you are never really kind of owning anything, then that's a problem. You have to own your ish. Yes, 29, own your stuff. And if you're not willing to do that, then what happens over time is that in a relationship, resentment can build up because people are taking note. Your partner is taking note because Yamaya, you're not being accountable. You're not being accountable. And so when that happens, it will catch up with you.
Absolutely.
There's a whole lot of stuff catching up with a whole lot of people out here. But when you don't do it, when you don't take responsibility, it's going to catch up. And you don't want to see that in the destruction of your relationship. I'm telling you straight up, that will happen. You cannot change anything you will not acknowledge.
Yeah.
And so if you do not acknowledge that you have errors and you have a pattern of that, then your relationship is at risk. Your relationship is vulnerable, right? Because you are not saying where you messed up. That is not okay. That is childish. You have to put it away. You have to be an adult. If you cannot say it because your ego is too big, then write it down, record it, send it in a voice message, write it in an email. Start wherever you are, but own up, fess
Yeah,
up to where
yeah.
you are.
Yeah, you know, that's really important, y'all. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, when it comes to us working with couples in our coaching sessions, we see it a lot. And even when we do work individually, we see it a lot as well, that people don't necessarily own their stuff. But the thing that I want to encourage you to do, so we oftentimes deflect. We oftentimes become, stop messing with that, boo.
Okay, I'm
We
looking for somebody.
oftentimes become defensive when it comes to people criticizing, people judging us. And that's understandable because we want to make sure that we keep our ego intact. We want to make sure that we protect the best of ourselves, you know, when we're engaging anybody out here in the world. But the important thing that you want to make sure that you're attending to is the fact that if you're experiencing any fragility, any emotional fragility when it comes to you just being you, you need to express that and get that out somewhere. Because just because you're experiencing some type of fragility, it doesn't mean that you can't still own your stuff. So what I highly encourage everybody to do, if you recognize that you're weak, if you recognize that you're vulnerable, if you recognize that you got some stuff, but you're not necessarily willing to share that with your partner, get that out somewhere else, y'all. Whether it be in a therapeutic session, whether it be with a friend, somebody that's positive, somebody that's going to support you. But it's important that you take ownership of your stuff. But one way to do that is to first and foremost recognize that you may be fragile. You may be fragile. You might not be able to necessarily stand in the face of criticism, stand in the face of judgment. And so you take that elsewhere. And so that's what I'm saying. You take that elsewhere. You recognize that that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you take that elsewhere and process that. You know, but I think that people have problems because they don't own their own fragility. Hey, y'all, everybody.
What does that mean, fragility?
So what that means is that we can even look at this time of year right here,
I know
y'all.
I'm a fragile.
It's stressful.
I've been fragile.
This time of year is stressful. Anybody out there that got children know that it's stressful during this time of year.
Right.
And so, you know, you got them wanting certain things, you got demands that are placed on you, and you know, whether it comes to, you know, work, whether it comes to dealing with clients, whether it comes to dealing with children, whether it comes to dealing with your spouse, bills, etc., etc. Everybody is walking around, especially adults who are adults that are compassionate in their care, are probably walking around in an emotional, fragile space. And so what I'm suggesting,
family issues.
What I'm suggesting to you is that you take that fragility and you deposit it somewhere productively. And so what that looks like is possibly engaging in some type of therapeutic practice, doing something, meditating, doing some yoga, doing some Tai Chi, doing something to release that so that you can actually show up for your family, your friends, and you know, your loved ones just better. So again,
or they could go to YouTube and watch our 700.
I think it's 800 now.
Oh, I'm sorry, 800 plus videos on YouTube, and you know, find some topics that that resonate with you, however you want to decompress. So, guys, we hope that this has been of help to you. We hope that this has been something that you know, really has stood out to you in some way, so that not we don't want you to get into a place where you're like, oh man, we only got 1 out of the 7 things that they said, so my relationship is doomed. That's not what it's about. What it's always about is progress. People. If you're a sister and you know anything about having an issue, you can come on over to the Art of Overcoming. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I'm going to drop that link when this is over with Iana Ma'at, the Art of Overcoming, because we say over there that it's not about perfection. You cannot have perfection in your individual life. You cannot have perfection in your relationship. So just throw that out. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. So stop looking for that. Stop looking for that. Kimberly, thank you for that. She said, can we get a recap? So we're going to recap it in a second, but just put that down. Put down this desire to have a perfect relationship, a perfect way that you're showing up. Sheila, thank you. Ronnie, thank you. And just move forward. Just move forward with taking a step in the direction that you need to take so that you can grow yourself. I promise you that when you focus on doing what you need to do, your relationship automatically benefits. It's not because I've done anything for this man right here. And I love him
You love me,
to
right?
life. I do. But it's not because I've done it for him that I have been able to radically shift my own way of being in my relationship, or even kind of like the energy between us. Go back to the thing so we can tell them the recap.
I'm just trying to put the order where we're coming in.
It's been because I've done it for myself. It's been because I've been motivated. I'm like, yo, I got some issues. I got some things that I got going on, and I need to change some of that stuff. And because I focused in on that, and because I was motivated by wanting to be different, wanting to be better, that is what motivated me and pushed me to do what I needed to do so that I could show up in my relationship the way that I needed to show up. Daryl Miller, I want to shout you out because you are a first-time viewer, and I am so appreciative of you watching us tonight. So thank you for watching. I want to just say what's up to Missy, who's on my page, and everybody who's on my page watching. We also stream this from the blackloveandmarriage.com page on Facebook. So we want you all to start shifting over there. Over time, we're going to start to kind of put my page to sleep on the live streams because a lot of folks are over there on the blackloveandmarriage.com page where we also stream. So we hope that this has been of help to you. But we are going to recap for you right now. And once we finish recapping, we are done. So here we are. Number 1, these are the 7 signs your relationship will go the distance and will last forever. Because I don't have no question.
Oh, no.
I have no question. Do you have a question?
Hell no.
No. Oh, say it again.
Hell no.
Oh, my. My food just, he said, hell no. Okay. So number 1, you can laugh at yourself and each other. Laughter is important.
Yes. You find little ways to express love every single day. We just did it, y'all. We kissed, and we'll do it again.
Okay. Number 3, you're on the same page where it matters most. Where it matters most. Don't get caught up in the foolishness. Don't get caught up in the circumstances. Focus on where you all are on the same page and on one accord.
You give each other the benefit of the doubt.
That's number 4.
Don't be petty, y'all.
Number 4, give each other the benefit of the doubt. And remember what I said, you have to let out your feelings as you're going along in your relationship, or you will not give each other the benefit of the doubt because stuff will stack up in your mind. Number 5, you don't keep score.
Nah,
you
try
don't
not
keep
to,
score.
Even when it comes to sex, try not to. I know I do,
but you're aware.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware.
And now the next time you trying to keep score, I'm like, excuse me, I didn't think I was on the clock. You know what I'm saying? Number 6, you tackle problems together instead of avoiding them. You will not avoid stuff and try to keep things together or go off on your own and try to solve it or fix it. You will do it together. What does that mean? In the very first place, you got to put it out on the table with your partner.
You heard the saying, teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And then the last one, you take responsibility for your mistakes. You're not trying to deflect, trying to displace blame. You take responsibilities for your mistakes. You own your ish.
Yes, and wherever and whatever way you need to do it, do it. If you cannot say it because you just like, I can't do that, that's just too hard, write it down, put it in a text message, record it on your phone, put it in an email, whatever you got to do it. Do it.
Yeah, so even though this is over, y'all, we encourage you to go ahead and share. If you found some value in this live stream right here, go ahead and share it to your page. Share it to your friends, share it to your timeline, share it to your page. And we're pretty sure that a lot of people can benefit from the information that was given.
I want to know what stood out to you the most. So if you could drop a comment, let us know what stood out to you the most, like what resonated with you the most. Please do that, because we go back and look at every single comment. Thank you so much for all the people who are sharing the video. We appreciate all of you. We will be back as always next Thursday, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, man.
CPT-ish.
9 o'clock. We're gonna hit 9 o'clock. 9
Y'all pray
o'clock.
for us. Let's just have a moment. Don't you try to say pray for me. It's you too.
Pray for you.
This guy will be different. Let's have a moment of silence and a moment of prayer. Dear Lord, I pray that next week on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, stop laughing during the prayer. Eastern Standard Time, that I am on time, that everything that we need to be on time and on point and in purpose is in place, that we do it, and that everybody here right now everybody supports us in that desire. 9-ish, Blair, is what you say, but we're trying and we are working to get better. So y'all just keep praying for us and know that if you don't see us at 9 o'clock, 9:01, 9:02, 9 something, we're coming to you. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. Keep loving each other. And remember, none of these things are going to work if you do not stop playing.
And stop pushing, y'all.
Pushing. Bye, y'all.
Peace, y'all. Share it. All right, YouTube. We on with y'all last again.
Always.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what's happening, Facebook?
Bye, YouTube.
And Zoom, our Zoom folks.
Yeah, cut yours down, babe.
Okay, sorry. Bye, y'all. Are we still on?
All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.